and gentlemen, here we go. Game number 1. It's MTW Dimaga against Dignita Select. We are over here on our favorite map, Dual Site, with this epic Terran vs Zerg. And already, Chef, I'm seeing a little bit of queso.
Queso? Jeez, that Zealot, or that, why would I call it a Zealot? SCV from Select?
SCV, man. It's the
yeah,
SCV.
he forgot to rally one of his early SCVs as well. So this will be just that slight second slower than normal too. So and that's huge when you're doing this cheese.
Yeah, you obviously you want all the minerals possible because you want to bust out that barracks as fast as possible. Now, here's the one big problem I have, Chef. He still needs to make a supply depot.
Yeah, he'll probably make it down in the corner. That was what? Yeah. I don't know why though.
No, he could still make it in his main, right?
He should, right? I don't see a reason to make it down there, but the person who he's copying this build from did that as well.
All right. Well, of course, you can make that supply depot part of a nice wall. You could probably put the barracks right around here, and it helps out because now you have this wall or this enclosed case where you could chuck a marine in there, and basically Zerglings cannot do anything. There he goes to do that.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
So, yeah, it does make sense. Dimaga, I don't think has any clue that this is happening. No, he does not. Didn't know that the
just barely misses it. Just barely.
And what do you think? Dimaga's going up to a 16 hatch at this point. Chef, is he in a position where he can defend against this?
I think so. I'm not a huge fan of this build from the Terran. Like, I feel like it's just a one barracks. And because of that, it's not going to really be able to give that many Marines. You can really just kind of stop it with only drones, I feel. But I'm going to be very curious about where he builds the bunker and exactly what Select is trying to do. Like, if he puts a bunker at the ramp and then kind of tries to choke off the hatchery, I think that's probably his best bet. But he's building his bunker there, so I'm really not sure at the moment.
Sure. Well, Dimaga still has not scouted his opponent, which is quite unusual, especially on a map like Dual Site, where you can easily be proxy raxed. So
yeah, and he's sending his Overlord right. Well, I guess that's safe right there, but kind of doesn't look it.
Yep. And the first SCV is out here. He's just trying to, you know, scout around, see what's going on, but also give away that it's almost like a standard build. That SCV was actually in great timing for a normal play. He would normally expect some sort of SCV scout at that point. Now the Marines are coming in here, and a drone is way under attack. Will he be able to take it out? No, it's just scattered within all the other drones. And already another bunker will be set up, ranging out this one extractor.
Kind of like Dimaga's answer to this. Just getting out of Queen, getting a lot of Zerglings. I feel like Select is just actually going for another barracks and another supply to wall instead of going for it straight up to factory. If Select was going straight up to factory tech, I feel like that would be a better choice if he could have managed it. At least a different choice. I'm not really 100% sure if it's better. And I feel like Dimaga definitely needs to plan on saving his main. He can't really lose it, I don't think. I think that would be the worst decision.
Gotcha.
In this situation.
So in your opinion, how would Dimaga actually break this? I mean, he is getting metabolic boost. Is he just going to wait for this and just make mass Zerglings, or would you prefer him making a gas down here, possibly Banelings, or using Spine Crawlers?
I think Zerglings is the way to go, especially because he does have the option of metabolic boost, and he's actually doing a lot of damage with those Zerglings. This is going to be really interesting. I'm not sure why Select is trying to put that bunker down below, especially because it's not really going to be able to fit.
And look at this. Very interesting response. As you said, that bunker is going down over there, but it will be destroyed due to that one Spine Crawler ranging it out. But look at this, a command center going down. I'm not sure I like that too much. What are your thoughts on the command center, Chef?
Well, it gives him good economy, and he's taking gas behind it. I'm not sure. I feel like this next patch of Zerglings is going to pop out and be able to kill what Select has here. So I'm not completely sure in that regard. I really don't know, to be honest. It's going to
be tough here. The Zerglings come in. There are a ton of bunkers here. Will he be able to surround all the Marines that come out of these bunkers? It looks like he just slowly brings out those Marines, puts them into the right-hand side bunker, but that will go down as well. The Marines just get mutilated, and this last bunker is the only thing left. It will get targeted down very swiftly, and the Marines thereafter. So good defense by Dimaga. The question is, has it been enough? There has been significant damage done to Dimaga indirectly by getting all those Zerglings, also delaying the tech. So, Sheth, where do you think Dimaga stands right now in terms of the whole game?
I really like where Dimaga's at. He has drones. That's really what's important in this situation. He has metabolic boost to give him scouting information, and he's gonna like make sure that Select doesn't expand. Like Select can't move outside of his base for a long time now. And Dimaga has like already a spine. He already has that metabolic boost. He can get a bunch of queens. He can even take his third base. I feel like Dimaga definitely has control of the game at this point. I really don't like. Well, I don't really like Select's build. Kind of agree with what you said, where maybe he shouldn't have made that command center.
Yeah.
Or maybe earlier just should have went for a factory.
Ooh. And look at that. The drones are really kicking in here, and knowing that his opponent hasn't really teched up, I think has hurt Select so much. A macro hatch goes down along with the third base. Now, what we were talking about before, rather than getting command center, get faster refineries, get that factory up, get that Banshee tech up, and now you're really stressing your opponent with, you know, making not only anti-air, but making these huge tech choices that affect your drone count and also affect the way you want to actually progress your game on. Right now, Select is just saying, okay, I'm trying to take a macro lead. However, Dual Sight isn't really a map known for, you know, having a great way of expanding.
That is true. And then Select here is trying to go for, I guess, 2 factories, one with a tech lab and one without. Okay, there's the liftoff. He's going to put it where the reactor is, I believe.
Yeah.
And then he's just going to go for a lot of Blue Flame Hellions, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit too slow. If Select manages to scout that, or even if he doesn't, realistically, I think Dimaga will have enough of an economy, enough units really to hold it off. I could be wrong. It could be just a blind build counter.
Sure.
But I really think that Dimaga is ahead enough that pretty much no matter what he does, he'll have an advantage in this situation.
The big thing is normally you don't have enough Zerglings or enough larvae to make Zerglings to hold this off. And I feel, you know, Zerglings aren't the best counter to Blue Flame Hellions, but they sure can manage with great numbers. And Dimaga is in a position where he can have enough expendable larvae and minerals to deal with that while teching very nicely. And we already see Baneling Nest going down. The +1 Carapace is being upgraded. And additionally, the lair is being researched. So
yeah, I don't know. Or go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to ask you, in this position, I mean, where does Select go from here? He has to do some sort of harass, but do you feel like, do you feel like he has to do something more extreme, maybe take the gold expansion with this third orbital command center, or what can he do from here to get back in the game?
I think all he really needs to do is just kill every drone with these Hellions. Just keep producing Hellions and just do really good harass, try and get into the main, I imagine. He's going to get a lot of kills at this third. Just a ton of kills at this third. I think that's the beginning way to do it, but those Zerglings might be able to surround.
Ooh, and they do get a good surround, but keep in mind, those Zerglings die in 2 shots. Still, it's enough with that surround. Zerglings just clean that up very nicely, and that's exactly what Select did not need. At this point, Select is just so far behind. He didn't kill enough drones, and I think, to be honest, he probably lost more than he actually gained from that battle.
Yeah, and especially in that situation, Select needed to do a lot of damage, and it didn't. Just like you said, it was the exact opposite of what he needed to do. Dimaga has a lot of Zerglings, though, still. Actually getting Carapace, and he's just now taking the Spire. So Select isn't too far ahead, but, Dimaga is not too far ahead, but Select just really can't be aggressive here. It's just, I feel like, gonna get farther and farther behind. Wow. Even with these other Hellions coming, just Dimaga already kind of knows about this and is prepared with those 2 spines and a queen.
For sure. Well, here the Hellions come again. Nice surround on those Hellions. The Hellions, it looks like one of them will die. And now these Hellions actually bump into the gold expansion in the bottom right-hand corner. That will be scouted out, and really, Select cannot do a single thing about that. I mean, he has no power-hitting units. He's just now getting his siege tanks out. But, you know, he's going to have to prepare for this up-and-coming Muta switch. And I feel he's terribly unprepared, and he still has not taken his third. He's actually looking to take his third right now. That's going to spread out his position even more and make it even more unmanageable to defend against all the different positions the mutas have to attack.
I think the big thing, I agree with what you said for sure, and the big thing also is that he doesn't have combat shields yet. Trying to take a third, not having combat shields and only having 4 barracks, plus only 1 turret in each base, I feel like he's going to get definitely really caught off guard. These mutas are going to do a lot of damage. And kind of just like what I said earlier, where Dimaga is just going to kind of keep growing this lead. I think he really needs to, at some point, do just a straight up attack at Select's third after he harasses and tries to separate a little bit of the units of Select. And I imagine that's what he'll do as well.
Sure. Now I gotta ask you a question, Sheth, because right now I do feel that Select is very far behind. I think it's, well, if Dimaga plays this absolutely correctly, he should win this match. But the 12 o'clock position, we do have the Orbital Command Center down there. Kwai Rice a lot of times enjoys not making that into an Orbital Command Center, instead just leaving it as a regular Command Center and getting a Planetary Fortress as third. What do you think about that type of strategy?
I think it's very good when you're ahead, but I definitely feel like if you're behind, you need to do something risky.
Yeah.
And making it an orbital here will kind of actually force this attack. Wow. That could have went a lot better for Select. I mean, it went well enough because Dimaga really shouldn't have attacked there, I don't think, but Select still lost a lot of Marines.
So you think it's good when you're ahead to put the Planetary Fortress?
No, just when you're equal, it's not a bad decision.
Gotcha. Well,
because then you're just more safe. You have like a staging point, or if you plan on attacking right away, like put a planetary and then attack, and then a counter is a lot harder to come by, right?
Sure. Definitely. Well, you do see the mutas getting caught out of position a little bit. Dimaga playing a little bit more sloppy than I would love. He did throw away a lot of banelings off creeps, so they don't do maximum damage, but he did get a ton of Marines at the same time. So a little bit of sloppy play from both these players, but for the most part, you know, everything's been looking really good. I really wish Dimaga would actually attack and harass the main, drawn a couple of Marines out in there, and then attack the natural. That would have been a lot better, just in terms of having more potential for your Zerglings and your banelings. Yeah,
just forcing Select to be somewhere other than waiting for this attack and ready. Like if Dimaga goes to the main, goes along the edges, it's much better than just only moving the front. In my opinion, for sure. He's gonna get a tank. Like this is the sort of harass he needed to have earlier.
Yeah, a ton of
There's no reason. Yeah, no reason he shouldn't go in there and just try and do damage. But he's not, so it's a bit worrisome.
Yeah, Dimaga's playing a little bit more prudent than I would expect him to, but now moving into the third base, and this third base is completely unguarded. There's just barely any units here because the entire force of Select is actually moving down to the bottom right-hand corner. We might be seeing a base race here, but this is not a base race, I think, that is good for Select at all.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it'll be a base race. I think even just if Dimaga comes back, he can probably kill off Select's army if he uses his mutas properly. Pick off a few tanks. I mean, look how many banelings Dimaga's morphing as well. That's a lot.
Yep.
Select does have a great position with those tanks, though, on that cliff. Kind of a weird situation. But we'll just have to see if he ever decides to unsiege and kind of run back home like he eventually will need to. Dimaga can jump on that, and yeah.
For sure. I like what Dimaga's doing, just punishing his opponent for taking such an outward position. And now it looks like he's just going to sandwich and collapse on this position in the bottom right-hand corner. He has units set up all over the place. A round of reinforcements trying to get in here. Siege tanks do siege, but not in time. Will they be able to splash on the banelings? No, they cannot. And there's the big unsiege from the bottom right. And Dimaga might again catch this out of position. Siege tanks do siege yet again, but there's just too much, and Select is being overrun so easily.
Yeah, this is not looking good for our American friends Select, or Korean friends. Losing that kind of push, losing all his earlier army, and then not having a third.
Yep. Well, there it is. GG comes out from Select. Dimaga will take game number 1. And that'll do it for game number 1, Chef. So what you have to think about that particular game, I feel like it was really over after, well, yeah, after he went Command Center.
I felt like from the mindset, like just be able to watch both those games, I think Select kind of wanted to go for the early cheese, just wanted to kill him, just wanted it out of the way.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And then after that, he tried to go into macro mode and play just like a standard game, and that didn't work either. So I don't know. I feel like Select's trying to push the game in directions that maybe Dimaga's good enough that he can switch it up and change it up. Thought it was very nice play by both.
Yeah, I mean,
better, but
when it comes down to it, I think going for the expansion was the wrong move. You should always go for tech in that choice because that's your big advantage. You know, your big advantage is not economy whatsoever. If anything, you will be equal to them, and then a couple minutes down the line, because they have the macro mechanics, they'll be able to kick in. So going for that 2 command centers after the aggression, I think, was just a big problem. And we had Select falling very, very shortly afterwards, really not being able to contend Dimaga's expansions at all. He tried his best, and whenever he did, his army was just crushed. So a very clean-cut game, I would say. Let's move on to game number 2 right now and see if Select can come back.
Sounds good.